What is the longest lake in England? Is the question that I will answer by the end of the show. Hello and welcome to another episode of The More You Know Mondays. The more you know, the more you grow, and this week on the show I will be talking about crypto art. But before we get into that, you know what we have to do. We have to start off the show with positive vibes. And I do that every week in the form of Monday affirmations, and this week is no different. If you're new here, thanks for joining us on this. I still need to think of something for you guys. Monday motivational. Nah, that's not right. Monday learners. Monday factors. Yeah, let's see how long that lasts and if I remember it next week. So yeah, welcome my new Monday factors. Welcome to the fold. What we do here every week is I share some interesting random facts. Maybe it's something from history or maybe something recent times, but just things that I feel that more people should know more about. And if you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back. Thank you for listening. Without further ado, as I said, we do the positive vibes, and we do it every week in the form of a quote. And this week is unlike that week. Unlike, I say this every week, this week is just like every other week. So this week's quote is by an unknown person, as I like to find these unknown people writing quotes. But that's what the app says. It says it's not by anyone, but I'll do my research after the show. I'll find out if anyone actually said this or if it was just a quote in time. But anyway, without further ado, the quote goes like this: sometimes the bravest thing you can do is keep going when you feel like giving up. And I really like this quote because it's 100% true. The easiest thing that you can do is give up because, it's easy. You don't have to put any brain power to it. You don't have to think about doing it. It's just you deciding that you're not going to do it because something's too hard or something's too challenging. So it's easy for you to just give up. And I don't know, depending on the subject or depending on what it is, it could be something that you've tried multiple times and come up in failure, and maybe you believe that, like what the quote says, that the bravest thing I can do is keep on going. But I guess, yeah, you're 100% correct. The most successful people that you see in life are probably the people who, through the times that felt like they should just give up because they've heard so much rejection and they've heard time and time again that this isn't for them or they're going down the wrong avenue, and then suddenly a break happens. Now, this break doesn't just instantly happen. It happens with continuous hard work and putting the effort in and time after time changing and moving with the times and putting out that content. But if you're just sitting there doing nothing, then technically you've already given up because you're not trying to do anything different. You've accepted the situation that you're in. And on the face of it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that because, you don't always have to be doing something. But I guess what I feel is that I feel like it's more of this idea of comfortability. Not that, again, there's nothing wrong with getting comfortable, but if you see it in I look at it in like the way of comfortability, and like when you're looking at a superhero movie, yeah, and you've got like the villain who's like destroying the world and beating all the bad guys. The bad guy is beating all the good guys, and they're winning. And usually you don't see this, but after a certain amount of time, after a bad guy is winning for a certain amount of time, and they haven't had any, I guess, mishaps where they've lost, people start getting comfortable and cocky, and they're just like, well, since I've been getting away with this for so long, I just continue. And then the comfortability of being in that position is when you get sloppy. And you believe that because you've done something for so long and being unchallenged, it means it's okay to continue. But it's not. I feel like I've delved down some other rabbit hole through this explanation, through my metaphor. I hope I didn't lose anyone, because I lost myself there. But that's it. That's the crux of it. Don't give up, even if things seem bleak or like it's not working. Maybe if it's not working in one way, you need to try it in a different way, but don't give up. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, when what you need to do to be sane is, if you're seeing no results doing the same thing over and over, try something different. It could be the smallest change, but it could be something that's completely different from what you were doing before, and that could be the thing that connects with your audience. But if you don't try, you don't know. And if you give up, you'll never know. So that's my Monday motivations. Don't give up. If you have something in your mind and you see it happening, make it a reality. Because the only one that can make it a reality is you. Other people can always be your cheerleaders, but that's all they will always be, your cheerleaders. But only you can put yourself in the place that you want to be. And it doesn't happen if you give up. So, yeah. And now we move into the topic of crypto art. Now, when I found this, it was randomly, I don't know what I was looking at. I was on YouTube and I was looking into comics and art and something. I was watching like loads of videos on publishing and self-publishing and stuff like that. And then, I don't know, like they give you that recommended tab on YouTube. I just saw like crypto art. What is crypto art? And I was just like, yeah, what is crypto art? And if anyone's not living under a rock, then you would have noticed all the posters around on the underground, where you're seeing these. I find it really hilarious personally. But you see these posters that says, if you're seeing Bitcoin on the underground, then it's time to invest. And here, personally, I'm here thinking, if you're seeing Bitcoin on the underground, then you should have already done invested. You know what I mean? Like, back in 2014, Bitcoin was worth, I don't know, maybe £2. And now fast forward 6 years, 7 years, and it's up 10 grand. So, I mean, maybe the time to invest in Bitcoin was 6 years ago, to really make a tenfold on your money, but I don't know. Personally, in my opinion, from my experience on the crypto exchange and investing and stuff, it's probably you're better off investing in alternative coins that are trending than investing in Bitcoin, unless you have a lot of money to invest in Bitcoin. Especially if you want to make some sort of return on your money or make it grow. you're better off if you have a lot of money or invest in Bitcoin, yeah, for sure. But if you want to make some money, invest in the alternative coins, because those are the ones that are all trending and all the ones that are... But yeah, sorry, I'm delving off onto other optics and talking about some cryptocurrency. And we're not here for cryptocurrency specifically. We're here to talk about crypto art. Now, what is crypto art is the main question that I assume is going through everyone's head when they're hearing, like, crypto art, what is this? So basically, crypto art is just a piece of art. A digital piece of art, rather. But the only difference with this digital piece of art, which is known as crypto art, and any other piece of art or digital art, is that crypto art is special. And the only reason why it's special is because it's authenticated by something called an NFT. And for most of you out there, you're like, okay, cool, another term that I don't know what it means. NFT. NFT stands for non-fungible token. And all an NFT is, or a non-fungible token, is basically, it's a unique digital asset that represents a digital file, such as a photo or a video or an audio or any kind of digital file like that. So you can prove the ownership that you are the sole creator of this digital piece of art, which is kind of interesting in this digital time, especially with the whole crypto boom and everything kind of becoming more online and less paperless. Not less paperless, just paperless. It's like we're slowly moving online. So with that being said, you see more digital art nowadays as like you'll have a physical graphic novel, but then you'll also have digital comics. So that with that idea, it gives kind of artists the incentive that they can make a lot of money from their art. And from all the articles that I have been reading, and videos I've been watching, I've just been seeing like so many artists making like millions from a digital piece of art. Which, yeah, sounds amazing, but I guess in this moment in time, and now I'm releasing this episode, and through all the other research, like I said, I've been doing, like it feels like it's a space that's being flooded by a lot of inspiring artists, or just people who have seen the news and are treating it like some kind of gold rush, and as if it's a way where you can make a lot of money. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure from all of the articles I have been seeing, like, you can make a lot of money, but it helps if you have some sort of following, for the people who would make the most money from the NFTs currently, right now. If you don't have any kind of following, then it's kind of hard for your art to be picked up through all of the other people that are doing the same thing as you. It's like, as a producer, I see it in, I guess, beat making. You have these beat libraries like BeatStar, and I can't think of the other one. There was an Air something, I think the other one's called, but there's a few other ones. And yeah, as a producer, you could just put your beat online on BeatStar and just leave it there and see what happens. But at the same time, if you had a little bit of a following, it would probably be a little bit easier for there to be more traffic to your page. And that's all I think is the downside to it. But moving on, there's so many other possible applications to it. So if you're unaware, these transactions of the NFT tokens are all run off a blockchain, or the blockchain. And basically all the blockchain is, for anyone that's just been hearing about crypto and the blockchain and just been like, well, hang on, what is the blockchain? Like, what are you guys talking about? Blockchain? Basically, the blockchain is basically a digital record of transactions. So it's like a huge list of records, a huge list of records that houses all the transactions that go through the blockchain. So every time you buy a piece of cryptocurrency, that transaction is verified on the blockchain. And how is it verified? Well, it's verified by multiple computers. So that way they're sure that this transaction can be trusted within this blockchain. And because the computers that are verifying the transaction, they are all people or users within the blockchain that are trusted to check and verify the transactions, which means that you couldn't have, say, a random computer just join in the blockchain and start verifying things without it being verified by the other people in the community. So each record is a block, and they're all connected together in a big chain of transactions. Ergo, the blockchain. So the idea for crypto art is kind of cool. So we already have cryptocurrency, which is a transaction, money being verified through transactions on the blockchain. And there's a value for each of these, for each currency. Because of, I guess I see cryptocurrency kind of like investing in stocks and shares in a company, but with the stocks and shares being a whole lot more volatile. But yeah, so if this idea with cryptocurrency could be a thing, and transactions can be verified within the blockchain for different currencies so that they can have a worth, then why can't the same things be applied to other areas such as art? And as a creative, I think that crypto art and NFTs is a very interesting thing to be on the nose about and understand and know more about, only in the sense of, if there's a way that you can authenticate your digital art, which is most art that we create nowadays. If you're a musician, you create digital art audio files. If you're a producer, you create digital art through your beat productions. So if I put it into the terms of, say, for example, you wanted to sell an instrumental, and this is how it could change. This is how I see it changing the game and the landscape of art, and also the worth of a piece of art. Because I feel like as artists, a lot of the time and a lot of the industry, they pay you with exposure. There's not a lot of money in it. Like, there'll be like, there's a lot of unpaid gigs that you'll do in the creative industry before you make money. And in a way, it's kind of like being in a long-term apprenticeship. And like, usually in an apprenticeship, you're not sure about if you're gonna get the job at the end of the apprenticeship anyway. But it's like, you didn't get the job at the end of the apprenticeship, and they've been like, well, you done okay work so far, so I mean, how do you feel about coming on full time and we still don't pay you. And then, I don't know, maybe in a couple of years we'll rethink the contract and we'll see how things are going with you. Maybe you've improved, maybe you got better, maybe we see you as being more marketable now. And I guess that's kind of like how the industry rolls. So with this idea of crypto art, it's kind of like the creative can take control of their own art. And no longer do they have to, or do we have to, as creatives, just settle for, like, you know, what contracts they give for us. If we can make our own following ourselves, and we have a following of people that already listen to our work, already check out our art, then there should be a way that we can make our own art limited editions or part of some sort of collector's collection. Or even, like, think about this from a different point of view. If you, say, for example, in the future, say in the future when we are talking about digital artists, and there's a museum for these digital artists, it will probably be shown in a completely different way, with screens, or maybe it's holograms or whatever. But when these museums are showing off these viral or amazing pieces of artworks that you now have the license for, that means you could sell your piece of art or license it out to a museum for them to use, or license it out to an event, so that you are always making money from the thing that you created, as opposed to creating something, putting it out there on something like a platform like Instagram. And technically, Instagram own that content because you've put it out there on their free platform, and it's in their terms and conditions. They can use it in any way they like because they've allowed you to use their platform for free. And you shared your photo on their platform. So technically they can use it, but I guess they don't. Maybe there's some sort of, but, you know, do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm a bit wrong off that, you know. Let me know if I'm way off in that. My opinion means nothing. So I should probably check that out. But it's something similar to the sense of, why let these people use your art for free when the pain and the sweat and the tears that you put into creating that, it should be worth. You should be able to quantify a value and put it on that. So basically, with crypto art, and you being able to create an NFT, a non-fungible token, for your piece of art, you can now track the ownership of your digital piece of art, which, like I said, it can be sold, resold, collected, licensed out to a museum, licensed out to this company so that they can use your music. Multiple fallacies that you could use this blockchain, or how a way that the blockchain could help support you. Another thing that I think is kind of cool about NFTs, or putting things up onto the blockchain and selling your art digitally, is that on a lot of these platforms you can also set up a royalty scheme. So say, for example, you sold your piece of digital art, you put it up on the blockchain, you sold it, you put a 10% royalty on it, and you sold that first painting or piece of digital art for £20, right? You sell that piece of art for £20, you get that £20 because it was your first sale. But now, after the first sale, that new person who has bought the NFT from you, the new owner of this piece of art, then sells that piece of art again for, say, I don't know, £5,000. and you've put a 10% royalty on that. So you can then claim a commission of 10% off that sale when it's going to the third owner. You've just made £500 from a sale that's been made of your piece of art just at a future point in time. And then maybe you get super famous or more of a following, and then your piece of art sells for 100 grand. You will then get £10,000 in commission from selling your art. And it will go again and again. Every time you sell your piece of art, depending on the royalties percentage you've put on it, you'll either earn 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% royalties continuously on your digital piece, on your digital asset, which is kind of cool. Because like the difference between selling the authentication of an NFT to selling a Van Gogh painting is that if a Van Gogh painting is sold to a new owner, the Van Gogh estate doesn't make any extra money, doesn't make any more money, because they no longer own the rights to that painting. They sold the rights to another owner. Whereas when you sell the rights to your digital art, you always make a commission on that sale, no matter when it's sold. So you could be just sat there, and then down the line in the future, your art is sold and it's sold again, and you just continually make commissions off every sale. So you're always eating off your art, which is nice. And kind of, I feel like this will really change the artist space, especially as more creatives get on top of this and kind of understand and feel their way around it. They can really make a lot of money. So maybe you're thinking, okay, Kory, I've been listening for a minute. Crypto art sounds interesting. I'd like to get involved. How do I do so? Good point. How do you do so? So I've been doing a little bit of research into a few of the platforms. I'll probably do more research after this episode because I'll just have more time to look around. Maybe I'm not really much of an artist per se, like art, like drawing wise, but I create audio art. So most of the crypto art spaces that I've been looking into from the research that I've looked into, it's kind of been more to do with actual JPEGs or PNGs or even GIFs, you know? But I think the application of where it can go from this point is just kind of exponential. So you can use sites like Rabiel or OpenSea, and you can upload your art on there, add it to the blockchain, and then sell your piece of art for a price. Though from what I've seen and a lot of the videos that I had been watching, like those platforms seem like they just accept anything. So you see a lot of the same sort of things on those platforms. But it's nice that it gives you that low barrier for entry kind of thing. So it means that with it being so new, more people can get involved in it while not fully understanding it. So it'll really flood the space with a lot of newbies, but this will help grow the space and also bring more eyes to it. But then, grow the space. I had it in a nutshell the first time. There's other spaces that I have found that I saw, like Super Rare, where it seems like the art is more curated, so it's more like some sort of gallery or something, so you get more specialized or actual, maybe well-known artists on there sharing their pieces. but you can definitely have a search through and see what you can buy, or see if there's anything you want to collect. Here's where the interesting, I guess I say interesting, it's more, I guess, how do I call it? Like, how do you get involved kind of thing. So the way you would need to get involved in crypto art is, first of all, you would need some cryptocurrency. Now, from what I have been seeing, because a lot of this, the buying of NFTs, they're run off the Ethereum blockchain. So a lot of the platforms, they use the Ethereum token for buying and selling of art. And so you would need, 1, a cryptocurrency wallet, 2, maybe some cryptocurrencies, a bit of an Ethereum. And here's where it kind of gets a bit sticky from what I've been seeing from the artists I've been watching, like having their experience with NFTs. There is kind of a high transaction fee. I think they call this gas. So you have to put some sort of gas for the transaction for buying the NFT token. And where it gets a bit sticky is that the price of the NFT token depends on the supply and demand of the cryptocurrency market. So right now, we're seeing a boom. So the exchange fees, or the gas prices, are pretty high. So you could pay anywhere between, $50 to $150 in transaction fees. And then with you paying so much in transaction fees, you might have wanted to charge a lower fee for your digital assets, but because you've paid such a high transaction fee, you want to try and make sort of a profit. So that means you might have to put a higher market on your items to actually see some sort of what is the word? Win. It's not the word I was looking for, but to see some sort of profit margin from your investment. So crypto art, it's something new, it's something interesting, but it's also something that you need to have some knowledge of the cryptocurrency market, and then also you need to also invest in cryptocurrency to get your art on the blockchain. So it will be a whole learning curve, but like I was saying previously, if it's something that you're interested in, don't give up and learn about it, and you'll be a blockchain wizard in no time. Promise you, understanding cryptocurrency isn't as hard as they make it out in all of these debates and talking about it in all the articles. Is really not that hard. Really not that simple. It's really not that hard. It's much simpler than you could imagine. It's basically just, like I was saying, the blockchain. It's just a list of transactions. That's simple, guys. So yeah, definitely get into cryptocurrency if you're seeing it. Like I said, if you're seeing it on the underground, it means, you should definitely get into it. But at the same time, maybe Bitcoin isn't the currency to be raving about. It's the one that everyone knows. Like when you think of a music device, you think of, not even, when you think of an MP3 player even, you think of an iPod. Like, there was such a thing when iPods first came out. Before iPods came out, they had a thing called MP3 players. Then the iPod came out. Now, once the iPod came out, everyone just called MP3 players iPods, but there was still MP3 players. So it's kind of like, it's the same kind of thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the biggest currency, so everyone knows about it and everyone wants to buy into it. But my personal opinion, you don't have to take it, is if you're going to invest in any cryptocurrency, invest in an alternative coin other than Bitcoin, but do some research on the coin, watch it, see how it's been trending in like the last days, last months, like see if it's been on the rise. Maybe if it hasn't been, watch it for a little bit and then invest. But Bitcoin is kind of like, if you have the money to invest in Bitcoin, invest in Bitcoin. If you don't, it's kind of not fully worth it. But at the same time, it's still worth it if you've got the money and if you can invest and you want. I say it's not worth investing in the sense of you investing £10 into Bitcoin is worth it but it will take a while to make a lot of money, to double your money, investing £10, whereas investing £10 into another coin that's worth per coin is less than Bitcoin, so that once it does trend, it will actually grow your money more, because it's, I don't know if any of that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm just going to move off the topic of crypto for now. Check out crypto art. Do some more research on crypto art. If you're a creative, this is the time for us, digital artists. Crypto art is definitely something you need to check out, because over the last couple of months, it's been blowing up, and because, crypto's been booming. But just as an artist and wanting to have more ownership and also control over the ownership of your art, then, I mean, it's I can't think of the word. I cannot think of the word. It's immeasurable. That's the word. Possibly. That's possibly the word I was looking for. I was going to pause it, cut it, and just be like, I'll figure out the word, and I'll say to myself for a minute, what is the word? What is the word? But instead, I just kept the mic on, kept on talking to myself, and it was recorded, and now it's in a podcast episode. But anyway, we've come to the end of the show, and I had an answer to a question to give you. And that answer to the question, or even that question, if you may have forgotten and you don't want to rewind to the beginning of the show to just be like, what was that question? Oh, yeah. So the question that I posed at the start of the show was, what is the longest lake in England? And the answer to that question is Windermere in the Lake District. Fun fact about the Lake District is that there are 16 lakes in the Lake District, but the only lake by name is called Bassenwith Lake. So that's the only official lake by name, but there are also 15 other lakes in the Lake District, but they're just not named as a lake. But as I was saying, Windermere is the longest lake in the Lake District and also in England. It stretches 10.5 miles long and 1 mile wide and 220 feet deep. Not only is it just the largest lake in England, but it's the largest natural lake in England, which is fed by several rivers. Now, another cool fact about Windermere is that it's called Windermere, and the mere means a lake that is broad in relation to its depth, which is kind of deep for the largest lake in England. But yeah, that's just some cool facts about England. The largest lake in England is called Windermere. So now you know more, and now you can grow with that. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of the More You Know Mondays. I hope you've had some learning curve. You've learned some facts, some things you didn't know, and hopefully you look deeper into crypto art and find out more about it, and see how it could possibly be used to help you, or how it could be applied to your digital content, and how you could maybe rarefy or make official licensing for your work. I mean, it's a really interesting space, and it's completely new right now, so it's definitely the time to get in and check it out and feel yourself around in there and become up to date and au fait with it. Because when things are new, that is usually the best time to get in and learn about it, because once they've been hitting their stride for like years, it's not that it's harder to get in. Obviously, more people understand the thing that you're trying to get into, but those are the people who are the richest. It's like, think of it like a pyramid scheme in a business. Like, that's another thing that's bizarre to me. They say pyramid schemes are illegal, but a business is basically a pyramid scheme. But anyway, that's my time. I don't have time. I run my own time. I am my own boss on this podcast. But yeah, that is my time for this week, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And the sun, I hope that it continues shining throughout the week. And yeah, stay safe and stay active, get out there, because we can get out there as lockdown is easing. It's being fantastic. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your week, and you've enjoyed your weekend, or whenever you listen to this. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate every single listen. And I will be going. Bye. Thank you for listening this week. Peace.